Recording in progress.
So I would work on this problem. It's the 16th problem, problem 16 from 11.1, and it is a difficult question. So let's read it briefly. If two lines A and B are perpendicular to the same line, explain whether lines A and B must be parallel. Make sure you focus on the word must, okay? Um, A is not the correct answer. So let me first explain what we mean by skew lines and parallel lines first. Okay. Parallel lines are on the same plane and they never intersect. So in this picture, this line and this line are parallel because if you extend them, they don't intersect and they're on the same plane. They're on this plane. So let me give you a few more examples. Okay. In the same picture, this line and this line are also parallel because they're on the same plane and they don't meet. If you extend them in either direction, they will never meet. What do we mean by skew lines? Skew lines are on different planes and they never intersect. No. To really understand that, we can start with this example. This line and this line are not on the same plane. And if you extend them, they're not going to meet. So, how are these two words, skew and parallel, similar and different? So, let's summarize. Parallel lines, like skew lines, don't meet. Parallel lines, unlike skew lines, are on the same, excuse me, are on the same plane. Once again, parallel lines don't meet, just like skew lines, but unlike skew lines, parallel lines have to be on the same plane. Sometimes we use the word coplanar. Okay? Parallel lines must be coplanar. They have to be on the same plane. Skew lines cannot be coplanar. So if a pair of lines are skew lines, they can never be parallel. And a pair of lines that are parallel can never be skew. I hope you understand this. Let me give you one more example of skew lines in this picture. This line, this blue line, and this orange line will never meet if you extend them, and they are not on the same plane. So they're skew. Right. That helps. And now we'll go back and attack or work on the same problem, work on the main problem. So clearly, if two lines A and B are perpendicular to the same line, explain whether lines A and B must be parallel. So let me go back and bring this picture here. That's going to help me. So in this picture, okay, let's talk about this line and this line. These two lines are both perpendicular. Oh, let me do a better job. These two lines are both perpendicular to this line. Clearly they are, right? Now, these two lines are not parallel because the two lines that are perpendicular to this line are not on the same plane. So clearly A and B cannot be correct. It is either C or D. So I'm going to need to read the whole thing. So once again, let's let's kind of summarize what we have learned so far. No, let's read C and D. A and B cannot be correct. So they don't have to be parallel. No, A and B could be parallel, but they don't have to be. Only thing that can be concluded that A and B is that they do not intersect. So they could be parallel or skew. Okay. Or D part D says no, A and B could be parallel, but they do not have to be because they could come from different planes with the perpendicular line. And parallel lines must be coplanar. I would say it's a difficult problem because C is actually not totally incorrect, but I think D sounds a little better. Okay. Once again, no. A and B could be parallel. That means they don't have to be, but they do not have to be because they could form different planes with a perpendicular line. What they are saying, let's go back to our old example. They are saying D is probably the best explanation, okay? But C is a very good candidate. So if I start with these two lines, the two lines that I had originally, this line, this line, the so-called purple line, and the so-called this red line, okay? Now, consider this red edge of this cube, okay? And this red edge of this cube and this purple line. Clearly, the purple line is perpendicular to this line, and this red line is also perpendicular to this vertical line. But these two lines are not parallel because they are not on the same plane. So the lines don't have to be parallel. So I am going to stick to D. However, C is very good choice as well. I know that's what makes this problem difficult, but the explanation for D sounds very clear and accurate. So I will go with D. I hope that helps.